Colossians 3:23 through 25 says, whatever you do, do it with your whole heart, your whole being, as unto the Lord and not to man, because you will receive a reward from the Lord, because it is the Lord you are serving. I was in a prayer meeting recently, and as I was praying, I was just crying out to God, and I was just asking God to, Lord, please create in me a pure heart and restore a right spirit within me. Because it is so much my desire that in everything that I do, to do it as unto the Lord. Because in the culture that we are in right now, that we're doing things on social media and in our lives to get man's approval, because it looks like everybody else is doing it. And so we want the same accolades or the same recognition that someone else is getting. And that as I was crying unto the Lord that night in prayer, I was just praying, Lord, whatever I do, I just want to do it unto you with no hidden agenda, with no ulterior motives, because I want you to get the glory. Because sometimes we try to make things happen on our own, and then we find ourselves in trouble. We find ourselves going down the wrong path, or that things didn't happen the way we thought they would happen, because we didn't rely on the Lord and we didn't allow him to direct our path, but we try to make things happen on our own. And so I was just crying out to the Lord, and I said, Lord, I just want to be pleasing to you. I want, in everything that I do, I want it to give you glory, for your glory, not for mine or not for man's approval. But in everything I do, I want to give you glory. And as I was praying, when I prayed that prayer, it was like a weight lifted off of me. And I just felt the presence of God so strong, because I recognize that I don't need man's recognition, and I don't need to be patted on the back by man or man's approval. But as long as I have God's approval, that's all that matters. And when you begin to think and have that kind of mindset that you just need God's approval and not man's and nobody else's, that you're doing everything that you do, that you're doing it as unto the Lord, let me tell you, the peace of God that you will have. You don't have to worry about having a spirit of rejection or being overlooked. But when you are working as unto the Lord, he will give you such peace that in everything that you do, that it doesn't matter what someone else is doing, and you're not comparing yourself to feeling like you have to keep up with someone else and do what they're doing. But when you say, Lord, I just want to please you in everything that I do, I just want you to be glorified. And then the peace, I just felt such peace when I was praying that prayer and crying out to the Lord. And this like, I'm not trying to work out things on my own, but Lord, I give it to you. Lord, here I am. Take whatever I do and you use it for your glory. And I believe that when we do that, then when we rely on the Lord, and when we give him we do our works as unto him and not for man's approval, and then he will use that your gifting, and he will use your ministry, and he will use your products, and he will use your books, and he will use whatever it is that you are doing, that business. He will use it, and he will open up doors for you that you could not have opened on your own. So I want to encourage you and let you know that whenever you feel like you are being overlooked, or you feel that spirit, that green-eyed, that devil trying to get you to envy somebody else's life and wish you had their life, and that you don't have what they have, or that you don't have what you thought that you would have at this stage in your life. Just pray the prayer that, Lord, whatever I do it unto you. I do it for your glory, that you will be glorified. And I leave the rest up to you. When you do everything that you do, when you do it as unto the Lord and you leave the rest up to God, then He takes it and He makes something wonderful out of it. He makes something beautiful out of it because He did it, and He'll get the glory. And you won't be saying, look what I did, but you'll be able to say, look what Jesus did. And then everything else will fall into place. Be blessed.